Hey y'all, it's April. Thanks for stopping by my crazy creative life. In today's video, if you watched my last video where I made a bracelet and a set of earrings to match the previous video before that, which was the anklet for the Bargain Bead Box June 2025, I told you I was going to try to make a necklace to match all of that. So that's what we're doing today. Let's go ahead and jump on in. Okay, here we go. This was my idea. I took some tiger tail and of course I beaded it up and then we got these little links in with this kit, and they also sent this chain. So I've done some beads, the link, and then the chain, and then I'm going to put this beautiful pendant at the end. So what I'm going to do is, on this tiger tail, I'm going to do the same thing here, add the link and the chain, and then we're going to have it kind of like a Y necklace, and then it's going to meet down, like except for that pendant, and then I'll put a little bit of chain in the back, and that will be our necklace. So this should be fairly easy. All right, let's go ahead and grab this. Now, this is probably going to sound like an odd number. It is 5. Let me double check. I think it was 5 1/4 inch. Yeah, 5 1/4 inch. So the reason it was like that is because I had a piece of tiger tail from the very first video that I had to, I cut too short. So I took that tiger tail and cut it in half to be able to get, and that's how I got my 5 1/4 inch of the tiger tail. But it seems like it's going to work out from the way that I'm doing it, so that's what we're going to stick with. But if you want your necklace shorter or longer, then obviously you can cut a shorter piece, or a longer piece of a shorter or a longer piece of tiger tail, or you can do a longer piece of your chain, up to you. Okay, so it's fairly easy. I am using, sometimes I do okay with these and sometimes I don't. But today it seemed like I've done okay with them. I'm using the clamshell. I always call it the Captain Hook hand because that's what it looks like to me. But I'm going to take 2 of those. And then I need to get a couple of crimp beads. Okay, the first side is always the easiest side whenever you're doing this. Just slide on your Captain Hook hand. Okay, get on there. And then slide on your crimp tube or crimp bead, whichever one you've got. And try to slide it up all the way about even with your, maybe just have a teeny tiny bit showing. Can you see that wire? And I always move it when I go to crimp it anyway. So we'll go ahead and crimp it down. Do the second notch. See, I just moved it. But you can grab a hold of it lightly and move it back up some. Okay. So we're going to crimp it down. Am I that second notch good? There we go. And then come to the side and then bring it in that first notch and give it a squeeze. And just try to make sure that you can get that folded together without breaking. Okay, do your tuck test, and that seems like it's holding on okay. Slide up your clamshell. And then we're just going to kind of close it off. I find it easier to take that flatter part of this tool, squeeze just a little bit to kind of bring it together a little bit, then go in with your rounded part and squeeze it on off. And there's your little round, looks like a little round bead. But because this is that antique copper, there we go. But because that's antique copper and this is silver, sometimes they say that mixed metals are in this year, but I didn't want a whole lot of the silver to show. So what I done, I took the bead cap that come in this kit and slid it down. And it almost makes it look like a bellflower. And, well, I've done the tuck test. Y'all watched me. I don't know. Maybe my crimp pliers are not really good. I don't even remember where I got them. May have even been Timu or somewhere like that. Because it seems like I struggle sometimes, a lot of times, honestly, with crimp tubes. So I don't know if it's me, if it's these pliers, they're just not crimping down tight. See, it just broke again. Okay, let me get this on here. Y'all pretty much know the process, and then I'll come right back. Okay, I come in there with the very end there, the flat part. I think maybe this one will work. Okay. All right, I think that one's going to work. So then we're going to take the bead cap like I've already said. Okay, next we're going to take, it was the 10mm blue spot Jasper melon bead. I'm taking one of those. Then we're going to take one of these little, the peach moonstone beads. It was 6mm. I'm going to take one of those. Then one of those crystal rondelles. It was the AB, let's see, the crystal faceted rondelle bead in steel blue shimmer. So I've got one of those. Next, I'm taking, I think it was 8mm blue spot. The blue spot Jasper. Oh, yeah, 8mm. Okay, then we're going to take one of the, those were pretty spacer beads. Another, the 8mm blue spot. Then we're going to take one of those rondelle beads, and I think they called it magma. Then I'm going to take another bead cap. And then one of these, I think these are so pretty. Forgot what they were called. 10mm banded agate, dyed, heated, and heat treated. Then another bead cap. Then that magma rondelle. 8mm blue spot. Spacer bead. 8mm blue spot. That crystal steel blue. And finally a peach moonstone. Okay, and that is our little section. Pretty simple, as long as you can get that guy to go on. Oh, I about forgot one thing. I'm ending it with a bead cap, but I'm putting the bead cap in this direction. All right, then we're going to take our Captain Hook's hand. Let me widen that out a little bit more. Sometimes on that second side it helps to pull that down a little bit and widen it. All right, so we're going to go up through that center hole. Can you see that center hole? Go up through the center. Get my precision needle nose pliers, or chain nose, and then, okay, let go. And then put in a crimp tube. Okay, this one's always harder. I'll try to, since I flattened it out some, go in there with my crimp tube pliers. But no, it ain't gonna work. So let's just go in here with these precision. And just, can you see? I've got a hold of it. Probably not. Anyway, I got a hold of it down in there, and I'm gonna squeeze as hard as I can. And kind of look at it and see. If you can fold it over and squeeze it, that'd be good, but if not, then just do the best you can. And I don't think this is going to fold back over. So let me just at least, okay, my tug test seems to be working. So let's clip off this tail. And then we'll go in there and with the precision and try to close that. Maybe. Yeah, I'm having more trouble with this side because I flattened that out a little bit more. Okay, there, I got it moving now. Benji. I be darn. I be darn. Well, y'all, let me fix this and I'll come back. Okay, wow, that has been a booger. Now, if any of you are jewelry makers yourself, do you see, am I doing something wrong whenever it comes to these crimp tubes and all that? Because I don't know if it's the crimp tubes, I don't know if it's my tool, I don't know if it's just me, but something is not right. So I don't know, I'd appreciate it if you notice something, you tell me. Okay, next, what I'm doing on the end, I want to cry. Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to do this again. Look what I've done. All right, for the 15th time, I'll be right back. Okay, after the 15th dozen try, I think, cross both fingers, I got it. So what I'm going to do, on the end that has the peach moonstone, I'm going to add just a small jump ring. I think it's probably a 3mm, maybe 3 or 4. And grab my round nose pliers, and I'm just going to take that hooky part of the Captain Hook's hand and roll it down. And just make sure that it's closed off. Sometimes you can go in there and just give it a little squeeze from the side. Make sure that it's together. Okay. Then on this side, we are going to take one of the links. I'm going to slide it over. Do the same thing. Take my round nose pliers and just round that on down. And bigging it not to break. This one's a little harder because of the thickness of the link. So once you roll it down so far, let's see, can you see that? Can you see that gap right there? go in there and close off the gap with your chain nose pliers. Okay, it looks pretty close to me. Yeah. Okay, then I took this chain that come with the kit. That's 2 inches and 1/8. Okay. Now this is kind of different, but it will open by twisting it like you would any other, most any other chain or jump rings or anything like that. Can you see the loopy part right in there? It loops around. Okay, from here it kind of looks to me like a paper clip, but you start working it right around that loopy part, and then when you start to pull it apart, it kind of starts, see, it's already starting to raise for me. Yeah, so I'm taking and it kind of looks like a heart, like I said. Okay, there it went. Okay, so see, it kind of looks like a heart once it's released, but you have to be careful where that does loop on over. Okay, so you might have to open this little wire, but you have to go up that little loopy part, and if you need to, you can pull it out, but go up that first little loopy part. Thought it was going, I may have to, yeah, I think I'm gonna have to pull that out some. Okay. Okay, now it took down on that loopy part. Kind of just bring it on down where you can work with it to close it. See how I'm gonna close it back. Kind of like a jump ring. Squeeze it together a little bit. Now I could be doing this wrong too, but that's. Then you're going to try to work it on around until you get your chain pulled inside that part of the heart. To me, it looks like a heart. And then, see what I'm saying? Then we're going to pull this on up until the link is in the middle of the heart. Okay, then close it off. There we go. Okay, so the chain is in this very top part of the heart, and the link is in the bottom of the heart. And I'm going to squeeze this together some from the side and then from top to bottom. Just trying to get it back together. Okay. Now, hopefully that's the same length. I think it is. Yeah. All right. Next, I've got a bigger jump ring right here. I think that's probably more like a 6mm. So we're going to take it. We're going to put it through the bottom of one of the chains. Okay. Then put on a pretty, now I think this will work like that. If not, I'll take it off and put it on its own jump ring. Okay, then take the other chain, the end, and get in the camera. And now they all are on that jump ring. Okay, here's the necklace part. I want to measure it to myself to see where I prefer, you know, the length and all of that. I'm going to cut some more of this chain. I'll come back and tell you how much I cut, and then we'll put it up here and then put it to a clasp, and this necklace will be done. This was roughly 11 inches, so I'm going to take this apart, take it apart in half, and then I'll be right back. Okay, after I cut it in half, I got roughly 5 3/8, which is the one past the quarter mark. So I'm going to do, I've already got that one open. We're just going to put them on the jump ring here. If I can get it to come up here. Come on. It'd been easier to put the jump ring on first, but since this was already open, that's why I decided to just do it this way. Now this little chain, it's harder to tell, I'm sure, on camera. This is something that you're going to have to just have in hand to really fool with, to kind of understand how to open and close it and all that good stuff. Let's see, those are kind of already closed. So are those. So I'll just open the jump ring because that will be easier on this side. Now I'm going to grab a couple more jump rings of that same size, that smaller, no, that's the bigger one. And we'll put it on the end. That off. Let's see, no, wait, I need that one open because I need to put my jump ring on. I mean, lobster clasp on. So there's that. I'm right-handed, that's the reason I put it on that side. There we go, my poor old nails. I used to have the prettiest nails. Not anymore. Okay, here's the aggravating necklace. I thought it was going to be easier than the other stuff, but that was sure giving me trouble this morning. Like I said, if you all know what I could possibly be doing wrong with the little these things and the crimp tubes, please let me know. But there's the necklace. What do you think? I think it's pretty. And let me show you what the other stuff I made. Okay, this was the earrings. And of course, Bargain Bead Box, if you don't really know who they are, I will link in the description box below. Go watch my unboxing. That kind of tells a little bit more about who they are. And I will leave their link in the description box below, so that way you can go and visit their site and, you know, check them out. This was the anklet. And then this was the bracelet that I ended up making too big for me. So I don't know. If my daughter wants it, then I'll let her have it. If not, then I might go back in there and take out a bead or two. You know, I'll do something to kind of get it a little bit smaller to fit me as better as a bracelet. But anyway, there's the set. The only thing I did not make was an actual ring. I've never made a ring yet. That's something I need to kind of learn to do and come on here and show y'all how I make rings, you know. But that's something that I gotta learn. So anyway, this is the set. Hopefully you like this. June 2025 Bargain Bead Box. This was called Tranquil Tides. I'll get it here in a minute. I can't talk, I can't think, I can't craft, I can't do nothing today, can I? Anyway, so let me take you down and show you. Try not to show you my messy table. But let me know what you think in the comment section below if you like it. And if you would, I don't ask very often, but if you would give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, I would be so very grateful. But there's that. So I'm going to try to do, if I can, because we're going to be leaving tomorrow, I'm going to try to do the curated bead box, the one that was the little country western themed. I'm going to try to make some of that before we leave, but it's just going to all depend on how I feel today and, you know, what all I've got to do. So anyway, hopefully that will be out and you can look for that video soon. But other than that, thanks for hanging out with me, and I hope you guys have a blessed rest of your day, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye. Hey, if you like this video, you may want to check out my previous video or my previous series. Talk to you soon.